All right. What it do, Kyle?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. I messaged a comment. I don't think he said his girl's in the hospital right now, so I said they take as much time as you need. He's supposed to be on the show today, but we got to reschedule. But it's all good. It's all good. Um, the show, like people in the show business, the show must go on.
Right.
Um, but how you doing, man? How you doing, man?
I mean, I'm good. I can't complain at all. Just been actually watching FA Cup, so I'm already in a sports mood.
You're like a little. I hear a little static in my headphone or not. Let me see. Um, but yeah, we are live. Got a lot to talk about, a lot to break down. The Eastern Conference Finals, and then we'll talk about. Well, first we'll get into NFL, and then we will dive into like the Eastern Conference Finals, Heat and Celtics. Break that down, and then we'll break down Game One of the finals, and then we'll preview what's going to happen. Our preview our thoughts, as far as where the series goes. Can the Heat turn around Game Two and break down the other games? And then also talk about some new coaching hirings too. We got some new coaching news,
Hmm.
and I do want to do this. Try this news. Like I saw this thing on Twitter where, how on Big Three, you have like towards the end of the show, you have like the basketball reference.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna try a new thing where I saw on Twitter where it's like it has. I'll pull up a player or on my phone. I'll look at a player on my phone in the NFL, and then it'll say it'll have a couple teams that player has played for,
Hmm.
and then you have to guess to see like who that player is.
Okay.
So I'll pull up a couple players throughout the show. I'll do my research and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, we can get down to the NFL first. So I guess the hotline news of the NFL. D Hop is a free agent. I know he hasn't. You know he got suspended for what? Not a DUI, like PED. Then he
Yep.
played half the season last year. He kind of, well, not kind of, but he did kind of look. Well, he did like diss Kyler Murray. I mean, he did. I was gonna say low key, but he did. He said he wants to play with a well organized organization, a QB he loves the game, and that's kind of weird because you think that Kyler Murray. I mean, they drafted him to be this, the next. Because I mean, other than Kurt Warner, maybe the last great QB they had, or I can't think of any other Cardinals QB that was good on the Cardinals.
Yeah.
But they expected, they had high hopes. I mean, even though Kyler Murray, he can still be great, but he doesn't really have for now the supporting cast to be a cute like he had Hollywood Brown, still there. But he did say like he's tired of bouncing around GMs. I know he played for the Texans, um, and then he moved on to the Cardinals, where he played good. I mean, he can still he's still that deep threat receiver. And now he said, I mean, so what do you think? Like where? But now he says, I mean, there's different teams. He can play for the Browns. He used to play with Deshaun Watson back in Houston.
Yep.
He might go back to Houston. And he said he had a list of teams: Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, Herbert, Chargers, Eagles, Hurts, Bills, I think, and then Mahomes. He had a couple other teams, but now Watson is in the mix. Uh, I mean, we have a couple of sleeper teams. So who do you are? So like, break down like what are your thought process on the whole D Hop thing, the Cardinals whole like fiasco?
Well, okay. So I guess from the Cardinals' perspective in all this, I wonder, were there any deals at the draft or anything like that that came up that they turned down in order to just release him? Because all this time it seemed like he was going to get traded and they were going to try to get something for him, but then nothing happens. They just release him. So obviously that's just the sign of his displeasure with them, and then for them it was there's enough dysfunction around here. The last thing we need is a star wide receiver moping around on the field. Now, in terms of where does he go, I think it's interesting because that list did come out of the quarterbacks that he wanted to play with, I guess supposedly. Yet he's meeting with, I think he meets with the Patriots next week. Mac Jones wasn't on the list. Say what you want about Mac Jones, but I do think the Bill O'Brien connection probably has him interested somewhat. He did have a really good season under Bill O'Brien in Houston. I think Cleveland is interesting because Deshaun Watson was his quarterback, and I think Cleveland could be sneaky good. I've heard or I read somewhere that Deshaun Watson looks like 10 times better than he did last season, which only makes sense because last year he played a couple of games at the end of the season after missing almost 2 years of football. So you would figure he would look better, this season. I mean, looking at teams that have cap space, I think that's going to kind of limit D-Hop's options because I think the Chiefs only have like $500,000 in cap space. Of course, teams can move cap space to fit him in, but if it's something where he's just looking to meet with the team, sign right away, I think the teams with the most cap space right now are the Patriots, Cowboys, and might be the Ravens, I believe. Those are the teams that have like over 10 million in cap space without having to do the wizardry of, front office math. I don't know. Something tells me the Patriots might be in play, but I do think he ends up in Cleveland somehow.
I mean, to be fair, your team was kind of like in the mix, he like in a small percentage at the draft.
Belichick's a big D-Hop guy, and I mean, you bring him in. The only thing that might happen is, the two young guys they drafted this year, maybe they don't play this year because you have D-Hop, but that's not a big problem. He would slot in right across from Juju. You'd put like Bourne, Parker in the slot or whatever. It could work, and it would be a move to make it seem like the Patriots are serious players in the AFC East. But I'm like 50-50 on if he actually signs in New England. Yeah. I think it's a good thing that he's actually going to visit there because the chance they show up, they give him a contract, he signs it right there, and I would be happy with it. But
yeah, let me get to the it's going to be interesting. I know he has, I think, Jeremy Fowler of the NFL. He said that he has a couple. He said that the training, I think OTAs, minicamp is like a soft deadline. It's like training camp, like a hard deadline. So it's going to be coming a lot of, news surrounding him in the upcoming weeks. But let me get to the comments. So Jory said that Collar, thanks for tuning in, Jory. Collar is going to have to turn some habits and his attitude around. D-Hop is no longer in the business of being dysfunctional. So when you say that, if you're still watching, Jory, do you mean dysfunctional as in terms of
the organization?
The organization, or from just like him not playing? Okay.
Well, I mean, the front office is dysfunctional. Kyler Murray and his dedication, the amount of players that have left recently and have had bad things to say, the fact that Murray is going to be out for a lot of the year, and the team looks like they're going to be trash this year.
And got a new coach coming in.
Yeah, for a guy like D-Hop, it's like.
Well, he came from a good tree in Gannon, but he's got a lot of unproven in card. He has a lot of unproven questions in Arizona.
Any first-time coach.
Oh yeah, I know.
The only thing working in Gannon's favor is there's no expectations next year. None.
Right. Because like you said, the QB's out.
Yeah.
And then I got my boy Chizo. Thanks for coming in, tuning in. You're my man. He's a Miami Heat fan. He was one of the guys who commented on my Twitter when I said Heat in 7. I talked to him, and I mean, he's a right real Miami Heat fan. He agreed with me, and like I had a lot of mixed views on my prediction. But he's a Miami Heat fan. He's going with Miami. Then he said he had the NFL question. What future you guys like? I'm not sure what you mean by future. What futures do you guys like for NFL next year? And then he said the 49ers future, maybe. So are you
I
thinking
was just
about
saying like teams
what's
that we
gonna
like for next year.
teams?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can go down the line. I mean, he said
Oh, for Super Bowl.
49ers.
Yeah. You just added for
Oh,
the Super
so
Bowl.
oh wow, damn.
Uh,
Wow, that's kind of early, man.
hey man, that's what you come to the show for. I can make a prediction right now. I'm ready for it.
Well, I can. Well, let me ask. So pick the winners for futures, and you get the best odds. I'm still confused on futures, like future, like odds, or like
Yeah,
future.
because they have odds for Super Bowl now. I guess we're saying like if you pick them now, you get better odds. If you kind of wait, the better teams, their odds kind of come down because they look like
So
favorites.
yeah,
I
I
pick the
picked the winners for the futures and get the best odds.
Yeah.
All right, so before we go, Chizo, let me hear your prediction for Super Bowl. And who's your team? Is it Miami Dolphins, or I'm assuming you're a Miami Heat fan? But yeah, D Hop. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of interesting stories. I mean, I know um, he can turn around a receiver room. I mean, with his catchability. He still can be a deep bet receiver in the league. He's like 30, 31, so he's still like not a little bit past his prime, but he can still be. He can definitely change that room around. I mean, as a homer, I would love to have him on. I know we were interested in him. If it wasn't Odell, it was going to be D Hop because we were really highly interested on him. I know Lamar said he wants Odell and D Hop. I mean, I think we can move some pieces around, restructure some deals, maybe get him in there. Um, and because he obviously he right now he wants the money. Obviously he wants to win too, but I mean the money if the money's right. I mean I'm not gonna be mad if he doesn't be it's not a Raven, but I really want him to be a Raven. We'll see how that visit goes. If he goes to Baltimore, to meet with Lamar in the front office and plan out their goals or what they want for him. Um, so I mean, he can go anywhere. I mean, he can go. It's his. I mean, just like Lamar, like he has a chance to go. I mean, it's kind of different because Lamar is a QB, but he kind of Lamar hit the free agency market. He had the chance to test out the market. Obviously he saw fit with the Ravens, so I give respect to D Hop because he has the freedom to choose where he wants to go. Whereas before, the team kind of held him prisoner, and they had to choose the team for him. So now, since he's a free agent, he has decided where he can go, where for his family, his mom, and that's an interesting story. His mom, I didn't know she was blind. That's a crazy story. I think her mom or his mom got like I think there was a 30 for 30 on him, and his mom saying that his mom, I think, got burned in a fire. I think a house fire, and like you can tell like her mom's like eyes are kind of like white and it was pretty interesting so I mean, obviously he has kids, so obviously where he wants to go, he's used to playing in the heat in Arizona weather, so did he want to come up north to play with Buffalo and the cold? I mean, I don't think it'll make a difference. He's an athlete, but he's used to playing in those hot sticky conditions in Arizona down south, so he has to factor that. Does he want to live in the cold and stay in the cold? And so we'll see. I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers kind of like can adjust because like he played in Milwaukee where the tundra. So I guess the Jets know New York's know they're gonna be a difference for him. But let me get to the comments. Like it's a betting market. Okay, I picked the Rams. The 1 year in the beginning paid out big. Not I'm from Philly. Oh, you're from Philly. Where? I'm in Jersey, man. So we kind of right near each other. So he's from Philly. I like the 49ers next year though for Super Bowl. Wow, damn, they don't. That's I mean,
So I do wonder, as a Philly guy, how come he's not a Sixers fan?
That's a good question.
Although I don't know, did he say like he was an actual Heat fan or was he just picking them?
I don't know. I didn't really ask him if. I mean, I know he went with my comment.
Yeah, Cos is wondering.
You are. Oh wait, you are a Sixers fan?
Okay.
He said I am.
Okay. Yeah. How about say being a Philly and not being a Sixers fan? Well, from Philly, but yeah.
Oh, so you're just picking with the Heat for the series then? For like I guess the money, I guess.
I'm sure it would pay out well if the Heat won.
Let me see. So yeah, I mean, Cheese though. I mean, I guess we're still in the NFL. How do you feel about? I need to get rid of Harden. I am a Butler fan. Though that's why I like the Heat. I mean, Butler,
Okay.
he's a dog, man. He's a dog. He's a dog. Um, so let me ask you. Since we're on the NFL still, I mean, I know we got some NBA comments. Yeah, that was a big. Yeah, we'll get to that. Don't worry, Tito. Man, you're rushing the show, man. You're rushing the show script, man. Stick with one sport. We're talking about NFL first, dog. But yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. So how do you feel about Well, he's a Niners fan, right? In football, he said.
He's picking the Niners to
So
win.
picking the Niners.
Yeah.
So who's your football team then? Yeah, I don't think you answered that question.
He said Eagles.
Oh, Eagles.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the Lamar situation in Baltimore, man? Like after he got paid, after Hurts got paid, how do you feel about that? And how do you feel about our new corps with Odell, Zay Flowers, and Bateman? How do you feel about that core in the AFC North? If you had some input. He said, "My bad," but we'll wait for his comment. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this NFL season, man. OTAs I guess they're voluntary right now. I don't know when do they come mandatory? I guess in a couple weeks.
No, for the most part, guys are supposed to be there now.
Because I don't think
The
Odell
only ones
Beckham has
who
reported
might not
to.
be there are like contractual issues or
Well, Odell, I mean, he hasn't
haven't
showed up yet.
gone on the practice field yet.
But I mean, I don't think Odell has been there yet to training camp or OTAs. I mean, I don't think they're voluntary. I don't think, or they're voluntary, but.
Well, I mean, for a guy that's new to the team, because isn't like Lamar and all them there?
Well, yeah, Lamar came. Yep, he came out this week, or last week.
Okay.
I mean, I guess as long as Lamar's there getting the
Odell would want
playbook.
to be there with Lamar to get.
Yeah, oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he wants to, I guess train at home, whatever. And I guess he'll come. He'll come. I'm assuming maybe like next week or this week. So we say Eagles. To be honest, I don't really follow football like that. He does it for only betting, which is understandable. You're gonna make that money, but you also lose money. But I mean that's why I bet like small. I bet like $5, $10 here. That's why I don't bet like $100, whatever. When I was a kid, I was a Cowboys fan. Everybody hated. Wait. Pause. So you were a Cowboys fan, now you're an Eagles fan. Like, come on, brother. Like you're all over the place, man.
Well, I could imagine as a kid if you're a Cowboys fan in Philly, yeah, a lot of people are gonna hate on you.
I mean, I want to know how you converted to an Eagles fan, man. Like, did someone dare you? Like, was there a game that hey, if the Cowboys lose, you're gonna be Eagles fan for life, or we just?
Maybe he grew up and he learned better. You know.
Oh, I think Kyle dissing you, man. You learned better.
Oh no,
like, you knew better.
No, I'm not dissing him.
All right. Yeah, because Eagles sucked. I was an all Philly sports except Eagles.
Okay.
That makes sense. So you don't know anything about the Lamar situation in Baltimore? Like he got his contract and Hurts got his deal. You don't follow the. Or I mean, if you don't, I'll backtrack. So there was a lot of talk about where Lamar was going to go. The Ravens placed the franchise tag on him, or the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. he got done his rookie. No clue. What's bro? That's all right. That's okay. We are here to break it down for you, man. So Lamar, I mean, you know Lamar Jackson, right? First of all, let me just put that. You know Lamar, number 8 on the Ravens, the fast mobile QB.
According to Jordan.
Lamar Jackson, yes, not the cornerback for the Jets. I think I don't know. I think there's 2 Lamar Jacksons in the league. Okay, that's a good thing. So yes, Lamar Jackson, yes. So he got picked 32nd in the NFL draft. League MVP. He got on his fifth year rookie deal, and he was, he there was a lot of talks on Twitter about the Ravens slapping the tag on him and him having the option to test out the market. The Ravens didn't want to pay him that much because, like, obviously the history has he's been out for injury two plus years, um, and he hasn't really the longevity, like the contract wasn't there. There's a lot of he said she said about what the contract was, what it is, and what it was. But I think draft night they won. The Ravens struck a deal after Hurts got his contract. I think it was 240, 250. Lamar got 260 for 5 years. On top of that, we got Odell Beckham. So yeah, that's the story. So there was a lot of he said she said if he's gonna go to the Falcons. See, I ain't gonna lie, I was scared that he was going to the Commanders. Cause I think either Dylan or you said that, Kyle, that hey, that can be a like a fu to the NFL. Like Dan Snyder was leaving the Commanders, a new owner coming in. Obviously they got Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator who Ron Rivera said that he has kind of like the coaching range to call the shots on offense where he didn't get the chance to do in Kansas City. So I was gonna, I ain't gonna lie, that duo, that player coach duo will be scary for the league. He got McLaurin, he has Robinson there, but so me and Kyle we're on this network called Sports Empire Network on Facebook, and I've always stayed true. Like Kyle, you can speak up for me. Like I've always said, no, he's a Raven. He's a Raven. I just have faith. I never really lost faith. What?
No, I was saying, yeah, that's what you said. Yeah.
All right.
You're gonna say it no matter what. You could have sounded talking to you would have said he was gonna be a Raven, so it's all
good. But no,
but yeah.
It was a big deal. For me, obviously, the Ravens did a smart thing, putting the tag on him. The Ravens knew what kind of like Lamar's market was. They let him test the market out. Maybe that.
Did Lamar know his market though? Because remember, there was that report, whether it was true or not, that he wanted fully guaranteed. Then I find it weird that Jalen Hurts doesn't get a fully guaranteed deal, and then like 2 days later, oh, now we have a deal. Because kind of with Jory's point, smoke and mirrors, I think yes to a certain degree, but then in other instances, not necessarily, because I think for Baltimore, they were like, yeah, we could sign you, but if you really try and get fully guaranteed, you're not getting that from us. And when Hurts didn't get it, then Lamar had to be like, if the whole fully guaranteed was his motivation, once Jalen Hurts didn't get that, he had to be like, okay, so obviously I'm not going to get that. Because looking at the two deals, they're basically the same deal except like $1 million more. And, Lamar was happy to sign that. So I don't know if maybe Lamar overplayed his hand a little bit or what. I don't know. Because I feel like this is something that could have been solved way before we got to the point where we went through the draft and everything. Free agency was basically over with. But then now they came to an agreement for a deal.
So Chizo said 260 mil. Yes, I think it was one. I think it was like 185 guaranteed. I believe.
Right.
That means like if he gets injured, he has that security. Where I think it's 185, is it 50 million a year? I think, or around that, like 50 million a year for like 5 years, 260 mil. I gotta look at the contract. I can for details. Let me see.
Yeah, I gotta think of how it was structured. But yeah, it's yeah. So
All right, so
Jordan,
Baltimore Ravens star quarterback Lamar Jackson agreed to a 5 year, 260 million contract last Thursday, or it was like when it came out.
mm-hmm.
Um, Let me see. Lamar's contract breakdown. Let's see. Okay, so in 2023, Jack. Is it? Uh, 1 second. Man, I'm trying to.
Jesus said that's crazy. I like Lamar Jackson. He reminds me of Michael Vick. I mean, yeah, that's like the easy comparison. Yeah.
So okay, so Lamar Jackson signed a 5 year, $260 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens. 185 is guaranteed, of which 135 million is fully guaranteed at signing. Damn. So that means Chizo. If you're Lamar Jackson, you go into the building, sign your contract, and you get 135 million guaranteed at signing. That's like so you get 135 million in your Bank of America checking account once you put that pen to paper. So 185 million guaranteed. That's for injuries and whatnot. 135 at signing. Most of the contract details come from PFT. Jackson 2023 and 2025 are fully guaranteed, and he will receive a 72.5 million signing bonus. There's a guarantee option in 2024 worth 17.5 million. Another option due in 2025 worth 22.5 million. If Jackson will have his if Jackson is on the roster on the fifth day of the 2024 league year, he'll have a 2025 base salary at 20.25 million and 750,000 roster bonus will become guaranteed. If on the roster on the fifth day of the 2025 league year, 29 million of Jackson's 2026 salary will be fully guaranteed. So yeah, I mean he's getting paid, man. And I think he didn't have an agent. Yeah, Shizo said that that's crazy. I like Lamar Jackson. He reminds me of Michael Vick. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of I think the year he broke his record, the rushing record, his running record, he kind of like gave praise to him. But the only question I guess with Lamar is obviously can he win more playoff games? That's a big question. And can he throw? I mean, there's stats that can he throw outside the numbers? And I think that with the players we have acquired, Zay Flowers. Obviously, he's unproven. He's a rookie. But he's kind of like that Hollywood Brown 2.0, or even better. I think he's like 5'11", I think, or 6 foot. So he's kind of maybe he can be a. I'm gonna say a D Hop. I don't know if he has the hands, but the route running ability is I heard in OTAs is pretty good. Obviously, it's different because you're playing against your own teammates and you're just getting warmed up with your teammates. But obviously, different than having the full pads on. But what I've been hearing is that Zay Flowers' running ability and his route running is spectacular so far. Yeah, so Raven, he's like, what the, what the f what? Like his contract or like what?
Yeah.
He was saying, wow, what the hell? Or how they won the Super Bowl in 2001 against the Giants. That was their first Super Bowl, and then they won it against the 49ers in the Superdome. It was the Harbaugh brothers, Jim Harbaugh. I think Colin Kaepernick's technically last season in NFL, I think, or second to last season. Because I know he played in the Super Bowl though.
Yep.
So we have two Super Bowls. But yeah, I mean, And then we just got Odell Beckham. Obviously, he's kind of like on that prove a year where he's injury prone, but if he can have a full healthy season, he can be dangerous. Um, so Kyle, I mean, what are your thoughts on the Ravens? Like new receiving core. Like I'm obviously you still have Andrews there, the tight end. I got Leakley behind him, Zaya Lakely. So tell me, man, like what are your thoughts on the Ravens new core? As of what you've
I
seen and what
mean,
you've heard.
I mean, I'd have to see it in once the pads, are on and the games matter because OTAs they're running against air at this point. There's no pads and nothing. Everybody looks good in OTAs. Um, I mean, Zay Flowers. I did watch him a lot at BC. He's a guy who a lot of his plays are over the middle, and a lot of them are kind of broken down type rollout plays, where he has a lot of time to get open and all that. At BC, he was the only guy you worried about, and he still put up numbers. So that definitely has to work in his favor when he gets into the NFL. Odell, like you said, the only thing with Odell is going to be health. When he's on the field, pretty good player. When things aren't going his way, sometimes he can have the antics and all that kind of overshadow the team. But you would assume he's probably past that at this point, but you never know with Odell. Andrews, we know what he is. He's the guy that Lamar kind of looks to in most of the big situations to make a play. So, offensively, they should be improved. It's also going to depend on Lamar Jackson himself because, like you said, throwing outside the numbers has not been his strong suit. I've been one of those who said that if that's a part of his game that he can improve upon, then yeah, maybe I could see him winning a Super Bowl. At this point, I don't see it because, Chizo did say Mike Vick never won a Super Bowl with all the talent that he had. And I think one of the issues with Mike Vick was throwing outside the numbers. So the parallels are there, but, Lamar is still young enough to where he could. I'm like I said, I'm assuming that's something he's working on, with guys like Odell who can go up and get it. Maybe that helps him a little bit as well. But like looking at the AFC, I wouldn't necessarily put the Ravens as the favorite or anything, but they should be in play at some way. They should be a playoff team. And to me, like once you're in the playoffs, everybody has a chance to make it to the Super Bowl because that's just the way that's just the way the NFL is. A lot of things can happen. You can go on a magical run, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Even in that division, Cincinnati's still going to be a problem. I've always been saying I think Cleveland is going to be a problem in that division because I expect Deshaun Watson to look more like Texans Watson than he did last year. And then Pittsburgh is probably the worst team in that division, but they're competitive.
I'm not nervous about that. They can be a sleeper team in the AFC North, man. They got Joey Porter Jr.
Pittsburgh.
Steelers. They can be. I'm not saying they're gonna win more games than us. They can be like that team that how in the AFC North, like the Christmas games, the Thanksgiving games were like actually games that actually like really matter. Well, I guess start games do matter because like week one, you want to be 1-0, not 0-1. But I'm saying when division races are close, Steelers are that team who can like kind of prevent you from going to the playoffs. Like they can be like that team where it's like, hey, we can win the first game because obviously you play your division rivals 2 times per year. So you can win one game and then the Steelers, if you're like, say you're like 8-6, right, and like we play Pittsburgh, like hypothetically, right, they can be that team that can like kind of like make it a good game, and kind of prevent that team from advancing to the playoffs, or they can be that sleeper team. I don't know if they revamped their receiving corps. I know they have Well, they got Pickett. They have Najee Harris. They have
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson. Who Pickens, right? Pickens.
Hmm.
So they got. I mean, they got a sub. I mean, not subpar, but they got a little average receiving corps there. Um, but I think as far as receivers in the AFC North, we kind of made that jump. I don't think they drafted a wide receiver. Bengals. I mean, they had their core still with Jamar Chase and Boyd um, and Higgins. But like you said, next season, I mean, it's Burrows next to get his contract, so either they're gonna have to pay Burrows or risk losing one of their key receivers. I mean, I know Jamar's gonna get his bag, but like you said, Higgins,
The
Boyd,
owner said he's keeping all of them.
Oh wow, shit.
Because the guy that's gonna, I mean, the guy who was the, I guess the odd man out was Joe Mixon anyway, which makes sense. I'm not gonna spend money on a running back.
Is he still on the team, Joe Mixon?
Uh, I think so, but I think this is his last year. And the owner, like I said, basically said, "I will pay the quarterback and the wide receivers, keeping them all."
Okay. Let me get to the comments. So I think Joey was agreeing with you when you said like he wanted to did Lamar kind of know his market. Joey was like, that's true. They may have wanted to open his eyes a little bit. Like I think Joey agrees with you. Agree with you again. She said she should have been solved a while ago. I agree. I'd rather Ravens pay him like after his MVP season, get this out the way. But I'm glad things worked out in Lamar's favor, for sure. Like I think,
But with that, like I get you should have paid him after the MVP season, but if they had any worries about him, durability and all that wise, I'm okay with them letting it play out. It's just the fact that they put the tag on him, and it seemed like they put the tag on him just to be like, we're hoping to get something for you. Somebody might give you the money you're looking for, but if not, whatever, we have a little insurance policy. Then it plays out over this long, drawn-out process just for him to get the money right after Jalen Hurts, where it's like, I mean, because we know before the season they offered him, was like 135 guaranteed or something like that, and he got 185 out of this whole process, so he ends up getting a little bit more money for it. But I feel like if the two of them were talking, they could have gotten to this number way before when they eventually did.
I think the reason, I mean, they kind of like saw. I think both parties, Lamar and the Ravens, wanted to see like what quarterback was going to get. Was it going to be Burrows? Was it going to be Hurts? Like at the time, maybe they wanted to see what people was going to get his bag next. Maybe that was because no way. I mean, I would be pissed if we signed Lamar for 230. I mean, I don't think he deserves that much money like the Watson got. But I think that no one was going to pay Lamar or any QB other than the Browns 230 million guaranteed. So maybe like they saw
the
Hurts
Browns
got his
have
deal.
restructured already.
Well, yeah, true, but at the time it wasn't. So it was kind of like
They were a desperate franchise.
But I guess my point was like they saw Hurts get his 250. Maybe that was a new ceiling, and Lamar got right now he's currently the highest paid quarterback right now. We'll see what they do with Burrows and Herbert.
He's not going to be the highest paid much longer.
Who, Lamar?
Yeah.
I mean, probably going to be Burrows or Herbert next. I don't know.
Might be both of
them. So that's crazy. Like Lamar, I like Lamar Jackson. He reminds me of Michael Vick. Wow, I think he said wow to the he said wow to like the contract. Chizo said, I'm picking Ravens this year too. The benefit of picking him in the beginning of the year futures is for your teams. If your team does good, you have the option to cash out. He said he put $20 on Heat in the beginning of the year, and if they win, it pays out $5,000. I wonder how much he put on that. And then I think Joy said Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
So she though, if you're still in the stream, are you just picking like them to make the Super Bowl, or are you picking them just to like win games? Like, what are you basing that off of?
I'm assuming he's picking the Ravens to be in the Super Bowl. So I guess he's picking Ravens Niners as a Super Bowl matchup. He did say earlier he's picking the Niners in the NFC.
Oh, win the Super Bowl. Okay, okay. So you said win the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah, he's just sprinkling some money around.
And like you can, and if like you can cash out, right? If that doesn't work, if it doesn't work out, you get some of your money back, right? I might have to. I don't know about the 49ers I mean, the NFC is wide open. I think that's how you get big payouts. I mean, that's true.
Well, I mean, the NFC I think is going to come down to Eagles will be there. I mean, the quarterback situation for the Niners kind of worries me early in the season, but I think they'll still be there. Outside of that,
It's wide open.
yeah, I mean, outside of those two teams, it could be, yeah.
Would
Who knows?
you put the Cowboys as like a sleeper team at NFC?
I mean, Cowboys been a sleeper team for like 30 years now.
Don't let Doug hear that, man.
My worry with the Cowboys is Dak Prescott. I can appreciate Prescott for the
Raiders
leader
or in
in
the
the locker
AFC?
room and all that, and the amount of pressure to be the Cowboys quarterback. I just see them being a playoff team again. Cowboys fans going crazy overboard about it. I don't think they have enough to win the NFC. I mean, looking at their running back situation, I mean, they finally moved on from Zeke. I mean, that was money that was being tied up into a guy that was just depreciating year after year. But Pollard is hurt, I think, currently. Wide receivers, yeah, they got CeeDee Lamb, whatever. But if Dak Prescott's going to keep turning the ball over like he did last year, what does that mean? Defensively, okay, they got Diggs and all that at the cornerback position, but it's only so much that defense can do. They got Michael Parsons, yeah, we understand that, but Dak Prescott's game is going to have to elevate in order for me to really see them as a serious Super Bowl contender.
So you said that's big payouts. Chizo said, "Nah, if your team does good, you can cash out and make profit." I like the Raiders. Question mark in the AFC. I don't know about that, man.
I mean,
Better
Raiders,
keep
you're banking on Jimmy G playing enough
better keep Jimmy
games.
G. Better keep Jimmy G at the strip clubs, man.
Jimmy G got worried about being healthy because I think he failed his physical already, and I guess they're gonna give him another shot at it. But if he fails it, the Raiders can just move on from him with no kind of ramification.
Chizo said he likes the Cowboys in a couple years.
That's also been Cowboys' mantra for a few years now.
I like long shots.
Makes sense.
George said Raiders have a year or two. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Anything else? Oh, I mean,
for the
NFL,
that division,
they won't be coming.
That's also a problem. Because even if Kansas City were to take a step back, they probably still are the leaders in that division. I think Denver's going to be much better with Sean Payton, although Russell Wilson's going to have to play much better. The Chargers, who knows? Staley was the issue in the playoff game, but they still won a lot of regular season games. And I just think with that talent that they have in LA, I would take them over the Raiders as well.
Yeah, because Raiders are in the same division as like the Chiefs, right?
Yeah,
The Chiefs,
Chiefs,
Chargers,
Chargers,
Broncos.
and Broncos. Yep.
Um, yeah, I mean, I mean, I guess before we end the NFL talk, we can go to the division winners. For this year, I mean, I think in the AFC North, there's going to be a lock between 1 and 2 between the Ravens and Bengals. And I think Browns are close 3, and Steelers are 4 in that division. So I can't even give you a clear winner of the AFC North because we can flip flop 1 and 2.
I mean, you got to lock in a winner now.
All right, the Ravens, man.
You got
Ravens.
Chizo in here
Bengals,
trying to make some futures bets, man. You can't give them possibilities. Wants definition.
man, I'm giving you possibilities, Chizo. I don't got nothing for you, man. Or Chizo. Or Chesso, I think.
Look what
How you say your
doing,
name, man? Chesso or Chizo, man?
Actually, that's a good point because I guess Chizo, you would think that'd be 2 E's, but you never know. I just been saying Chizo because I heard you say it and I just ran with it. But
I just realized it was to 1 E.
Yeah, I quickly glanced at it, didn't notice that at first.
But all right, if you wanna, okay, so it's Chesso. All right, my bad. Because in Chizo all game, man.
It's all right.
Chesso, for division winner, I put money on the Ravens. Bengals are close too. They're right behind the Ravens, like right behind them. For the AFC East, that's your division, right? With the Patriots, Miami,
Buffalo and Jets.
I think it's gonna be Buffalo. I guess we just go in order. I guess of the division. So, if you know, I have Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. AFC East.
I'd go Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers.
Did I say you had a chance? This is my time to shine.
Hey, no, man, I'm giving Chesso the actual answers.
So AFC East, I have Buffalo 1. Oh, man. Buffalo 1, New York Jets 2, Miami 3, Patriots 4. But the Patriots can definitely, if they can, with the Juju Smith, he's kind of like unproven on that roster. Obviously, he's a good receiver, though. I just don't, with that system. I feel like I had Miami 3, right?
Yeah.
I can flip flop Patriots in mind because so uncertainty with Tua.
Mm-hmm.
So they can flip flop, but for right now, if Tua stays healthy, that's a big if, because he's like a couple of concussions away from not retirement, but just staying off the freaking staying on the sidelines. So I definitely have Miami 3 as of right now, and then Raiders 4. Do you agree with that, or you see them 3 and 4 flip up?
I'm not a big believer in the Jets. Not a big believer.
Before we go on, Jory said, I got Cincy coming out in the North. AFC East is toss up, but I got Bills. AFC South toss up, but I got your team not going to be number 1. Stop it. AFC West, I got Kansas City.
Why not?
Man, the Titans are ass.
Okay. Let's look at the AFC South, okay? Yes, the Jaguars will be the favorite going in. I would probably have the Jaguars winning the division.
Yeah, you're giving Chesso some. You're like, oh yeah, I like these picks. Yeah, more money.
Well, I mean, I knew what he was in the chat for.
Man, he was in the chat for me, man. He's supporting me, brother.
See, you already got Jory going.
They weren't ass when they beat your Ravens ass. I mean, then we got you right back, didn't we?
Don't matter. They still beat y'all, though.
And we talking about your goddamn logo, man. F your logo. F your Titans logo, man. All right, hey, wait, Tessa. So this girl on our network. I'm just gonna give them a background. So me and her have been going back and forth because they're team the Titans, right? And
Yes.
we had a bet. And I mean, I was telling her they don't know who the QB. I think it's gonna be Tannehill. It should be Tannehill. But
Yeah.
the bet was since we played each other next season, we play in England for the England game in London, and the bet was if the Ravens win, which they should win, Jory has to buy Lamar Jackson or each team has to buy the opposing team's jersey. So the Ravens win, she has to buy Lamar Jackson jersey, and then whoever the QB at the time when we play, if it's Will Levis or freaking Malik Willis or Tannehill, I have to buy that jersey. So we've been talking shit like all this time. So I mean the
I'm
Ravens
on
should have
your
win.
side, Jory. Go Titans.
Man.
'Cause I know it would kill you to
Um
have to rock a Tannehill or a Levis jersey. I I know it
I
would.
wouldn't mind buying a Levis jersey. I wouldn't buy Tannehill. All right, he's ass though, but no matter. I mean, look what happened. Oh, well, I guess it was Flores, but look what happened in that stint in
Again,
Miami.
Tannehill has as many playoff wins as Lamar. I actually think Tannehill has more. Just
Come
something
on,
to think
Chester, you
about.
gotta be on my. So Kyle's on Jory's side. You gotta be on my side, Chester.
I'm saying Tannehill's got more playoff wins. That's got to mean something.
more of the same.
I think he has one more. I think.
I don't know.
You know what's so to kind of go with Jory's point, look at his numbers. I think I kind of make the same argument with Kirk
And
Cousins.
when has your and Jory when's the last time you been to the AFC Championship game?
The
Was it
Titans.
Titans Bengals? Like a couple years ago, was that AFC or that was that was conference?
That's a good question. When okay,
See, we don't
2018.
even
Yeah.
know 2018. All right, I mean, y'all
She
got
goes
beat by the
18.
Bengals, right?
So that's more recent.
His completion rate is 66.9% since he got to Nashville.
That's what I'm
2018.
saying. He's not a terrible quarterback. Like I said, if you think about um, Kirk Cousins and all that, Kirk Cousins, a lot of people make fun of him and all that, but you look at his numbers, they're actually pretty good. Tannehill, yes, a lot of people you're just looking at it from the outside would think Tannehill is probably a bum or something, but for a wide
Jory
receiver
said it
that
was
he's been pretty good. Remember, they tried putting Julio Jones there, and Julio Jones couldn't even stay healthy in in Tennessee, even though he hasn't been healthy for several years. But they've tried guys there; it just hasn't worked. But I think Tannehill is a serviceable quarterback.
I think Jory said it was the Chiefs. They played the Chiefs. I don't remember that game. That was 2018. I really don't remember that game. I thought it was the Bengals, but
I'm trying to think if it's
my
2018.
boy Chesto's on my side. Yes, sir, brother. I mean that's a great bet. I am on your side, bro. I'm picking the Ravens. So that's Ravens Titans. So circle that on your calendar, man. We in London for we in London. We got London on the track. Young Thug. For Young Thug. uh, yeah, I mean it's gonna be a good game, but it's a game we should win. I know Key in the group chat said that. I mean, if the Ravens lose, she gonna be up my butt, man. She gonna be all. She gonna be because that's a game that she thinks that it's a game that we should win.
The
So
Ravens will be the favorite to win that game.
yes,
That also means the pressure is on the Ravens.
Jory said October 15th.
See, she ready to go. She got the day and everything.
Yeah, I thought it was like later in the season, but yep.
See, Jory's more locked in than you, man.
Hey, I'm just saying, you better put that. Hope Key has that Fanatics discount because you gotta put that Lamar jersey in your cart, Jory.
Jory, you don't even have to pull up the website. You good?
Tell him, Chesso. Tell Jory to put her jersey in the cart.
Nah.
Y'all lose. I'm being so y'all lose. I'm being so annoying. Ah man. So that's to be okay. So the AFC West. That's what the Broncos, Raiders, Chargers,
Chiefs,
and
Chargers.
Chiefs.
Yep.
I'm doing Chiefs, Broncos number two, Herbert three, or I might go. Okay, I'm gonna go Chiefs number one in a division. They're gonna take the division. Number two gonna be Chargers. Three is gonna be Broncos. Four is gonna be Raiders. NFC North. Gotta look up the teams' names. NFC North.
North got
So
Bears,
wild.
Lions, Packers, and
Ah, man, that's a hard division to pick.
what? Bears, Packers, Lions,
I think Lions are
Vikings.
gonna take. I think it's Vikings are gonna go number one. Lions are gonna number two. Packers three.
All right, Chesso.
All right, yeah. All right, guys, I gotta get out of here. Thanks for the stream. I'll check it in with you on Twitter. Have a good one. All right, Tesla. Yeah, man. Thank you for your contribution in the chat, man. Definitely tune into some more episodes. Later on. I love the contribution, but you're gonna miss the NBA talk, man. It's all good. It's all good. I don't know. I got the Lions coming out of the. Who did I have? I had the Vikings coming out of that division because they have Addison and Jefferson. I mean, he's the only. Well, I would say he's the only proven quarterback. I mean, we got Golf, but so I have
Had a
Lions
really
number
good year
two.
last year.
Yeah, they did. They did. Three, I have Packers, and four, I have Bears. I'm giving some love to Jordan Love, man. I gotta putting him number three. Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, man. I appreciate that. Yesterday, I think I appreciate that. So NFC East, I got Philly coming out, like Jory said. Like Jory said, the NFC South is a toss-up. Man, I'm at the agree with Jory. I think Atlanta's gonna be there. Take the number. They're gonna be number one. I'll say Saints with Derek Carr, but Michael Thomas hasn't really been proven me he can have a full season of health. I mean, Panthers have a rookie QB. And I'm not talking bad on Bryce Young, but he's a rookie. I wouldn't expect a rookie in that team to be there. But hey, it's wide open. I'm definitely gonna. I mean, if I had to place money on the division, I think I'm gonna go Saints with Derek Carr. Then I'm gonna go 2 Atlanta, 3 Panthers. Who's the other team in the division?
The Bucks.
Oh, the Bucks. Man, that's tricky because I'll go 4 with Bucks.
Okay.
For right now, early. I kind of thought like who's your AFC West, or did you go with your AFC
I was
East
letting
yet,
you run through them, and then I was gonna go.
Oh yeah, go ahead. That's my bad. I didn't mean to.
No, you good. Did you?
So
did
yeah,
the
this,
NFC West. That's your last division.
NFC West. That's the
Seahawks, Rams, Niners, and Cardinals.
I'm gonna go with Cardinals being the 4th. I have 3 Rams, 1 Niners, 2 Seahawks.
Okay. I probably agree with maybe one division you had.
But that was the last one I said.
Yeah. That might be. Because I just think a couple teams will be switched around. Like AFCs, I'll come back to that because that division is so crazy right now. Well, you start with the North. I'll start with the North. I got Cincinnati, Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. I think Cleveland will make it tough on the top two, but they'll fall a little short. The NFC South, since Jory's here in the chat, I've got. I'd probably go Jaguars, Titans, Texans, Colts. Yeah.
Are you saying that because Jory's here? Are you putting them?
I got the Titans coming second.
Okay.
No, that's what I believe.
All right.
Yeah. Wait, where'd you have the Titans finishing?
Did I have the fight? Wait, did I do? I don't think I did that division. I forgot about them.
Oh, okay. Then how do you have that division going?
So there's the Titans, Jaguars, Colts, and who else?
Texans.
So I'm gonna go Jaguars 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. It's like a toss up because there's so many rookies in that division. CJ Stroud, the Texans. I'm gonna go Colts number 2, Titans number 3, Texans 4.
That's wild.
I mean, they said in the OTA
Richardson's gonna come in and just set the world on fire.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I've heard some good news as far as I know it's different. I mean, obviously the season hasn't started yet, and just like the Baltimore, there's no pads on yet. But I've heard good things out of camp as far as Richardson's ability, his talent, his athleticism. They got Jonathan Taylor as a running back. I mean, that's a good combo. Him and Taylor.
Same as last year. Jonathan Taylor was the only one you had to worry about last year too.
We got hurt, but didn't he get hurt with like a foot injury? I think
they still weren't good.
I mean, Joey, I put your team as 3. You should be grateful I put him as 3, not 4.
Yeah, but you picked the Colts over them though. I would trust Tannehill next year over Richardson. Richardson wasn't winning at Florida. He's just gonna come into the NFL and start winning.
But I'm not saying he's gonna be a division. But I'm not saying he's gonna be a division winner. I said they're gonna be 2.
To come second in that division.
Yeah, I mean but hey, this is early prediction, early season, so it can flip flop. But this is where I see it like right now. The Texans could be number 3 and Titans number 4. I mean, CJ Stroud can be that. I mean, they don't have any receivers. I don't know their receiver room like that, but I mean, I trust DeMeco Ryans in that division and his ability as a coach, so they can turn it around. So, yeah. So I think you still have to pick your.
I think that's wild. So, like I said, Jaguars, Titans, Texans, Colts. AFC West, I've got Chiefs. Between the Broncos and the Chargers, it's interesting. Because, yes, I like Sean Payton being in Denver. The Chargers do have a lot of talent. I'll go Broncos 2, Chargers 3, Raiders 4. AFC East, so many questions. I'll probably go Buffalo 1. I do think the East will be much closer than a lot of people might think, but I'll go Buffalo 1. The only thing holding back Miami will be Tua's health. I don't know if Tua can make it through a lot of the season. Jets, like I said, I haven't bought into Aaron Rodgers in a while. I feel like he's just going to start weighing on that team by mid-season. And then the Patriots, I think, will be better because of Bill O'Brien. They'll actually have an offense that makes sense. How do I want to do this? All right, so we'll go Buffalo. Buffalo, Patriots, Jets, Dolphins. I don't even know how confident I am in that, but that's all I'll go with today. NFC East, I think it's, Eagles,
Wait, so you said Buffalo, Patriots, Jets, and then
Dolphins.
Miami.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I think their quarterback position will be the only thing that would hold them back. I just don't know how many games you could count on Tua. If Tua gets
that's
through the
true.
season, then I'd put the Dolphins up at
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm
probably
okay with the
second.
Dolphins number. Yeah, I'm okay with four for Miami, but I know you have a hate for Rodgers, but Jets over Patriots, man.
Rodgers is just he's overrated. He's been overrated for a lot of years. It's only because ESPN loves Aaron Rodgers that he gets talked about as much as he does. But you look at what's gone on in Green Bay since he made the one Super Bowl run. It's been a lot of disappointment, even though ESPN will make you seem like it's the coaches or players and all that. A lot of those games, Aaron Rodgers played terribly. Like I said, just look at that NFC Championship game against the Bucks. Tom Brady was turning the ball over left and right, and Aaron Rodgers could do nothing with those opportunities. Then, what was it, 2 years ago? They played the Niners in the NFC title game in Green Bay, bad weather. He couldn't do a thing against that team, and that was with Jimmy G as the quarterback of San Francisco. Couldn't do anything. So now he's going to come to the AFC, which has better quarterbacks. Some might say some tough environments to play in, and he's just going to come in and they're going to walk to the AFC title game. No, I don't see it. I think they could be a wild card team, yes, but I don't see them winning the division. Yeah, so I think the Jets are the third best team. So like I said, Tua gets through the season. I'd put the Dolphins second, and I'd probably move the Patriots down to fourth. But for right now, I think the Patriots would be better. But I also think that division everybody might win between 8 and 11 games. So,
Okay.
uh, NFC East, Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants. Yeah, I'll stick with that. Um, Even though that's another division outside of the Eagles, I can see the Cowboys, Commanders, Giants finishing in any order. Because I think the Commanders, because of Bieniemy running the offense, will be better. Because Ron Rivera is a defensive guy, and I'm glad he's turning the keys over to Bieniemy. The Giants, I don't know if they've made enough improvements at the wide receiver position to make me feel better about them duplicating last year's performance. And the Cowboys are the Cowboys. Defensively, they'll be really good. Offensively, like I said, Dak is a big question mark. So the NFC North, I do think the Vikings take a step back for sure. I love what the Lions did in the offseason. I'll go Lions 1, Vikings 2. I'm going Bears 3, Packers 4. I'm a big Justin
Okay.
Fields guy. I think they've done enough with their offensive line, as well as a couple of moves they made with the wide receiver group. I think the Bears will be much better than last year. NFC South, as you and Jory said, toss up all around. I think out of the rookie quarterbacks, Bryce Young might be in the best situation in Carolina because their defense is really good. I think offensively, the Adam Thielen move I think will be big. Like Thielen might end up being Bryce Young's favorite target there, as long as Thielen can make it through the whole season. The Bucks, I'm assuming Baker Mayfield plays much of the season. If Kyle Trask is starting games late in the year, then the Bucks season's probably in the toilet. The Falcons made so many moves in the offseason. I thought they were going to try to upgrade the quarterback position. They didn't do that. That's the only thing that has me worried about them. The Saints, I like Derek Carr. I just wonder about everything else around him. Oh, man. So after saying all that, I would go. I mean, if Chesso is still listening, I'm probably going Panthers in NFC South. He could probably win big money with that pick. I'd go Falcons second. Um, Saints third, Bucks fourth. And even with that, I could see the winner of that division being like 9-8, and then the other teams being like 8-9. I think it's that close between all four of them. The NFC West, I have Niners 1, Seahawks 2, yeah, Rams 3, Cardinals 4. So, yeah.
Okay. So I mean, as I'm composing my list, I mean, we might as well do this now since we're on the NFL to guess this player, this
Okay.
NFL player. So I had the
I'm
first
ready.
one. I'm just gonna pull up on my phone.
Yeah.
So the first player I have.
Okay.
Let me pull up the. All right, so this player, I gotta. Jory said something. What did she say?
They said they're going to ride it out with Desmond Ritter.
Hmm.
Which
Yeah.
if Ritter takes a jump in year 2, then yeah, I think the Falcons have the best talent in that division. And Kyle Pitts has to stay healthy too.
Right. All right, so the first player I have is player a running back. He started in San Francisco in 2005 through 2014. He played 10 years in San Francisco.
Okay.
In 2015, he played 3 years. He played 3 years in Indianapolis,
Okay.
1 year in Buffalo, 1 year in Miami, and then he ended his career in the New York Jets. Who was his player?
That's Frank Gore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, the minute you said 05, like 10 years with the Niners, and then you went to the Buffalo in a couple of spots, I was like, that has to be Frank Gore. Okay.
Okay, this player also running back. Oh, this is pretty easy. I want to say he played 2007. He played Minnesota through 2007 to 2016 in Minnesota. He took a
Okay.
little break. I think 2017. I think in 20 he played for Arizona and in New Orleans. And then in 2018 he played for Washington. 2019 he played for Washington. So he played 10 years in Minnesota, 2 years in Washington, 1 year in Arizona, 1 year in New Orleans, 1 year in Seattle, and 1 year in Tennessee. Who is running back?
Not Adrian Peterson?
Yep.
Okay.
I gotta do it. Trying to
I
see.
kind of forgot he played a year with the Saints. That almost threw me off.
Trying to see. I have only two I had so far. I had Earl Thomas, but he only played for two teams, Seattle and Baltimore. That's gonna be an easy one. I had him, but that was pretty easy. Trying to figure out the other players. I might have to do more research for like next show so I can. It's like on the fly, because I'm trying to think of players who are still in the league, or have retired recently.
Yeah, I do remember that, George. Yeah, the year Peterson was in Tennessee was when Derrick Henry broke his foot. I remember that.
Oh, they like a
The
research.
Saints year is the one that threw me off with that one.
Yeah. Let me see. 1 second. I guess we can do one more. It's pretty easy. I guess you can probably figure this out. This is a receiver.
Okay.
I mean, this is mad easy, man. I saw this one. I saw on Twitter. 2014 through 2018, he played with New York Giants. I mean, 2019 and 2020, Cleveland. I mean, 1 year with the Rams. No, I think he went back to Cleveland. And then he on the Rams and This is easy, man.
Yeah.
Odell
So no.
Beckham.
Yeah.
That's one I saw on Twitter. All right, we can. That could be the end of NFL talk. I mean, next week I actually go on my phone and actually look at players who have played,
Okay.
you know, or have retired recently. Before we end the show, yeah, I'm talking about the homie Odell. That's the initial one I saw on Twitter. It was pretty easy. It was they had like a graphic of like the different teams in the years.
Hmm.
Um, but that will end the NFL segment. Now we can to end the show. We can talk about the NBA. Break down your team. I know you did the play-by-play for your team throughout the series. The Eastern Conference Finals, Heat and Celtics. Now, let me say this about the Heat, man. I think Brett had this, or someone pulled up in the chat. Was it Brett or Key or somebody put up a stat that, or was it Brett before I mix up my words? Oh, wait a minute, my phone. Saying how I think Key was like, oh no, I think Paul Pierce was saying how Denver and he
Yeah.
are
Keep
not
it
the
that
best
way.
teams in the NBA.
Hmm.
Now, I mean,
I see where he's
now
coming from.
I see
To
where
be
it's coming
honest
from,
with you.
and I'm gonna explain. Like he's half right because Denver, like I said in the chat, Denver deserves to be in the finals because they're
Denver
the number one
was
seed in the West.
underrated a lot of the year.
I mean, they were, but they held that seed, the number one seed. Even though with their underrated season, um, so
I,
Nuggets in five. George
I
said, but
think
if
I
Miami
think he
gets
was
Hero back,
fully
it'll be
right.
interesting.
Because remember,
Um,
Phoenix
mhm.
got KD at the trade deadline. Everybody put Phoenix ahead of Denver.
even when they, I mean, well, the hype was around Dallas, but even the Kyrie Luca
That's what I'm
thing,
saying.
like that was a
Dallas
little
had a lot of hype. Memphis had a lot of hype going into this season. Denver was kind of like the forgot. The Clippers had a lot of hype. So
Clippers.
yeah,
But here's my thing on the Heat, right? Um, so I'm not afraid to say this on live TV. Like he, like I mean, like I said in the group chat last night or like that night before, Miami Heat they don't deserve to be in the finals because they were the number 8 seed, and no one really had them in the finals. But I am safe to say that they've earned that right to be in the finals. There's a difference between deserved and earned. I mean, no one had them beating the Milwaukee. I know Giannis missed like one game or whatever for like I think back or shoulder issues. Um, but I mean, Milwaukee was number one and Celtics number two. All the hype all year round was Milwaukee, Giannis going off, and then Tatum and Brown. I'm
hmm
talking about like during the season.
hmm
All the hype was really, I mean, other than maybe like Knicks, they were fifth or sixth seed. Who was the team behind? Or it was Philly too. Um, I mean, no one really had the Heat. I mean, I'm gonna be a man. I mean, I didn't think the Heat. I mean, I know I didn't have no idea they were gonna find Kevin Love. Obviously that was a little move for the bench, but I didn't think Gabe Davis was gonna go off, or not Gabe Davis. I mean,
Vincent.
Gabe Vincent was gonna go off for Max Strus. But he had 0 points last game. But
Yeah,
I
after he tried to talk some stuff about my team, though, I
yeah,
was
I
happy when
like
every one of those threes was front rimming.
but I'm gonna be a man. I did not think that the Heat deserved to be in the. I mean, I have much respect for Jimmy Buckets and Jimmy Butler, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Spell. I think Coach Spell, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, he'll be like arguably like top 10 coach. In this current NBA, he's gonna go down in the Hall of Fame. I think. Um, and he's well respected. Even the LeBron eras. But he's a skill. He is
Got
a
little to no credit for the LeBron years.
he is a strategic like coach. when it comes to like end game, like on the fly decision making on defensive schemes. I know the first game we'll dive into the game one of the finals. But he is known to like to make those switches and those adjustments. Um, but no, they did not deserve to be in the finals, man. Like you said, there was a lot of teams that were hyped up. Memphis, I know, which we're gonna get into with the whole Ja. I mean, before the whole Ja thing, they were like number three, I think, in the Eastern or in the Western Conference or four. They're right behind, um, or were they number two? Behind
It was
um,
the Grizzlies were the 2 seed.
two seed.
Yeah, it was Denver,
So there's a
Memphis,
lot of hype,
Sacramento, Phoenix, Clippers,
right?
Warriors. Yeah,
Um, so I mean, like but like you said, like in the last stretch of the season, Denver kind of looks kind of sketchy, kind of losing games. But I mean, they held that number one seed. They deserve to be in the finals. The Heat, not so much. I mean, I thought it was gonna be Celtics or Milwaukee. But I mean, that's why I said there's a difference between deserve and earn. They definitely earned that right to be because they proved the debtors wrong. They beat Milwaukee.
I think they're kind of the same though. If they win the games to get there, then they deserve to be there.
But I'm saying like no, people had them written off. People who were non-Miami Heat fans or whatever.
Well, I mean,
Um,
Jory kind of put in the chat like you, some people might be forgetting that he were the 1 seed last year,
they were,
and they basically brought back the same team except they added Kevin Love.
but you have to
The
forget
only
that. I
thing
mean,
is, regular
over
season
people.
they just don't care. There's plenty of nights where Jimmy Butler is just going through the motions on the court. To them, it's just get into the playoffs and we'll make it happen. I mean, yes, that's a dangerous way to play, but I think for the roster that they have, it makes sense because you don't want to burn out Butler in the regular season because he means so much to them as a team. So what's the point of burning Butler out to get a top seed if by the playoffs he's worn out and the team looks like trash? So they methodically go through the season. I'm sure they would love to get a top 6 seed, but they couldn't get that this year to avoid the play-in. And even that first play-in game, they lost that to the Hawks, and then they turned around and won the games that they had to get the 8 seed. Yeah, they might have gotten lucky against Milwaukee because Giannis missed a couple of games. Middleton hasn't looked right since the injury, but whatever. They still won that series. Now, the Knicks series, I think the people who were picking the Knicks in that one were probably just wishful thinking. Once again, a lot of the ESPN heads are kind of New York based, so they were all over the Knicks. But the Knicks, looking at their roster, their cap was one and done or second round exit. So they kind of went as far as they were. So the Heat probably got lucky facing them in the second round. I think if Cleveland could have gotten their stuff together and beat the Knicks in the first round, Cleveland probably would have been a tougher matchup for Miami. But once again, they got lucky and the Knicks beat Cleveland, then they beat the Knicks. Against the Celtics, Celtics played around the first 3 games, got down big, made the comeback. Game 7, Tatum twists his ankle. He was never right, and the Heat took advantage of that. So they took advantage of the opportunities that were in front of them. I would say they deserve to be in the finals. But yeah, they're not the best team on paper, of course, but that's why you got to play the games. Although if you look at game 1, also as Jory put in the chat, they kind of went back to regular season mode in game 1. 3-point shooting was a problem, which it was most of the year, except for the Celtics series, they were hitting like everything. Even the Knicks series, they were pretty good, but game 1, they could barely hit any, and you see how their offense struggles so much without the 3-point shot. Even defensively,
right.
The zone works if the other team can't shoot, but you saw that zone in game 1. Denver was getting anything they wanted. Jokic was getting the ball in the post with like nobody around him, which is incredible to me that a guy like Jokic can move around the floor and nobody decides to pick him up. But like you said, we'll probably get into game one a little bit later. But yeah.
Yeah. So Tori had Denver in 5.
Okay.
Jory says, but if Miami gets Hero back, it'll be interesting. I guess she
Depends
was
on how
going
he
off what
gets
I was saying.
used.
It's because the Heat don't play particularly well during the season. They hit a switch come playoff time, but they're slowly starting to revert back to regular season form. I don't think they're doing that. I think they're just playing a better team in the playoffs. I mean, the Nuggets. I mean, I'm just
No,
talking
in the
about
regular
the series.
season, they weren't a 3-point shooting team, and we saw that in game one. The Heat were one of the worst offensive teams in the regular season because without this hot 3-point shooting, they can only really get like 90, 95 points a game. In today's NBA, that's not good enough. The 3-point shooting was allowing them to score like 110 a game.
Jory said Denver is shooting video game mode, and Jokic is going off. Miami doesn't necessarily have the size and the consistency to deal with that. I mean,
Nope.
yeah, it's true. I mean, no one has really answered for Jokic, and then that pick and roll with Jamal Murray, and that's just lethal. That 1-2 combo, and then Michael Porter Jr. X factor. Obviously, the attention is going to be on the two players, Murray and Jokic, and then leaving Porter open, and then Caldwell Pope is another X factor too. Aaron Gordon using his size.
Trust me,
I mean,
Denver's happier that Miami beat Boston.
yeah.
Boston could match up with Denver better than Miami can. Because we saw it. There were several possessions where
I still think Jokic can overpower like Robert Williams and Al Horford.
I just said match it up. I didn't say I don't think Boston had anybody to do with Jokic, but we were seeing Gabe Vincent guarding Aaron Gordon on the block. You tell me how that's going to work out for you.
Yeah, I saw that one play where I think it was the first play when Aaron Gordon is back someone down.
It happened like 5 times in the first quarter, and I was like, Miami can't really do anything about that. Even if that happened with the Celtics and you had Marcus Smart on them, Marcus Smart's a better low post defender against bigger players than Gabe Vincent is.
That's true.
So, yeah. So for Denver seeing Miami, they love that matchup over potentially a Celtics matchup.
So I know you heard like other sports analysts, on other shows say that, like Kendrick Perkins has said that. Do you think that I mean, obviously, do you see Celtics keeping both Brown and Tatum, or do you think that Brown would strive better on another team where he, is that focal point?
Nope. Because for Jaylen Brown, it would be one of those situations where the grass isn't greener. Look, I've had my issues with Perk this whole postseason, especially considering the fact he does like Celtics post game in the local like TV broadcast, and he sounds completely different than he does on ESPN. But that's another thing. Because my worry would be if Jaylen Brown went somewhere else, he'd be looked at as the number one guy, and I think he would struggle in that role. I think playing off of Tatum actually works in Jaylen Brown's favor. The problem is, yes, everybody's going to look at Game 7 and be like, oh my God, look at all the turnovers. You realize a lot of that was because with Tatum hurting his ankle, which if you remember, Gabe Vincent did the same thing to his ankle and had to miss a game. Tatum played 42 minutes on it, could barely move laterally, couldn't dribble the ball up the court. That put the ball in Jaylen Brown's hand a lot more, which forced a lot of the turnovers. So I think in a normal situation, he doesn't dribble it as much. I do think this offseason, Jaylen Brown's probably going to work on his handles because he usually pinpoints something from the previous year, works on it, and comes back better. I've seen all the little compilation videos of him dribbling with his left hand and losing the ball. Yeah, I get it. But I think they keep them together, and then I think unfortunately what's going to happen is between Brogdon I guess Grant Williams, Payne Pritchard. I could see all three of those guys gone, and them trying to bring in whatever they can for it. And I think coaching staff and all that will change as well. But yeah, I think they stay together. They're 25 and 26. Think of all the players that are in the league that would love to have a secondary guy like Jaylen Brown. Because look, ESPN and them are trying to find homes for Damian Lillard for like the past couple of years. Bradley Beal, guys like that who are stuck in situations where they're looked at as the guy and they don't have any talent on Jaylen Brown's level around them. That's why they continue to struggle. So I think Brown helps Tatum just as much as Tatum helps Brown. I think Brad Stevens is a Jaylen Brown guy. Because remember, he could have traded him from KD for like 2 years.
I totally forgot that Brad Stevens he moved upstairs. I totally forgot about that. He moved upstairs to the front office.
Yep.
So he's still like in the organization. So I'll say like what goes on. I mean, I think I agree with Jory. Finally, we agree on something. I think that's. I believe they try to keep them together for another year or two. But after that, I'm not sure.
I think it's.
You think it's longer than that? Wow. Wait, is
because look, okay, so
how many years left does he have Brown have on his contract?
Brown has one more year. So next year he's under his current deal. Then after that he's eligible for the Supermax.
Hey, Tatum to the Lakers, 2025. I'm playing on this show.
Lakers could have drafted him, but they took Lonzo Ball, so I think they missed the boat on that one.
The boat has sailed on that one. Yeah, I mean, like who was other than Lonzo?
Magic Johnson.
Who was in that? I know Tatum, Lonzo. Who else was in that draft?
De'Aaron Fox, who I said if you're going to take a point guard, take De'Aaron Fox. Nope, they took Lonzo Ball because Magic Johnson fell into the ball trick, wanted the attention. Yeah, that's just me though.
What I forgot what pick we had. We had to hire we had a high pick, right?
You sure did. I think second.
Yeah.
Because remember, Celtics had the first pick, traded it to Philly, who was at 3, so Philly could take Markelle Fultz. Congratulations, Philly. And people thought with the Celtics moving down to 3 that, maybe the Lakers might take Tatum, because I think Tatum was a Laker fan growing up, I believe, since he's a big Kobe fan. And I was like, makes sense. But I guess to the Lakers, they had Brandon Ingram. So why would you take Tatum? I don't know. But they took Ball, and then the Celtics took Tatum at 3, who they were going to take at 1, but knew Philly wasn't going to take him because Philly really wanted Fultz, and they got the extra pick, which I think turned into Jaylen Brown the year after. So, yeah. Lakers could have had him and blew it.
Yeah, and now Lonzo won't be playing. Yep, for the foreseeable future with the Chicago. Yep.
Well, the neat thing, I guess, nobody could see that, but I still said De'Aaron Fox was a better college player than Lonzo Ball.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, what the Lakers do, what the Celtics do in the offseason, what these teams do with like new coaches. How they want to, piece their team together. And Nick Nurse is with Philly. Monty Williams is he's in Detroit, right?
Yep. I like that move.
I do too. So, the Suns have a coach now?
Frank Vogel.
That's Frank Vogel. Yep.
Supposedly, he might get Phil Handy to join his staff.
From the Lakers?
Mm-hmm. And Rondo might join Joe Mazzulla's staff in Boston, which I think would be hilarious. Because Joe Mazzulla's an intense guy, and I could see Rondo as a coach being intense as well.
Oh, so he wants to put him as on his coaching tree, Rondo.
Brad Stevens has kicked around the idea of bringing Rondo in as an assistant coach.
I mean, as a Celtics fan, how do you like that move?
I would love it. I think he fits Mazzulla's personality. Doc Rivers, who coached Rondo, said that Rondo's one of the more brilliant basketball minds he's ever coached. The only
He
thing
does
was
have a
like
good
that
basketball mind,
brilliance
yeah.
at times would kind of turn into I don't know, what's the word? Like where he thought he just knew more than everybody else, which I think as a player, whatever, but as a coach, that could be valuable. He could see things on the court that maybe Missoula might miss. And for a guy like Smart or whoever's point guard next year, because I do think that Boston will explore trying to bring in a point guard to maybe move Smart to like the bench point guard or make Smart like a shooting guard or whatever. I think they'll try to upgrade the point guard position. But I think Rondo could make a good assistant coach. But I don't know. We'll see. But I do think that's what that needs to happen in Boston because they lost a lot of assistant coaches last year, and then Udoka's taken like 3 this year. Missoula's going to need top assistants. I've seen Doc Rivers kicked around. I don't know if Doc Rivers wants to be an assistant coach, but he's not going to get a head coaching job, so maybe he takes it. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So I guess like the end of the show, right? Talk about dive in game 1 of the finals and talk about what did he have to do to turn things around. I mean, they lost 93 to 104. Not really a big deficit, but definitely a lot of adjustments. Then need to be made in game 2. That's on Sunday. Like I said, Miami lost 93 to 104. Butler had 13, 7, and 7. Martin had 3 personal fouls and 4 rebounds, 1 for 7 from the field goal. Bam Adebayo had a good game, 26 and 13. Vincent had 19 and 5, 19, 2 and 5. And Strus had 0. He had laid an egg. Robinson had 3 off the bench. Highsmith had 18. He's the X factor off the bench. Highsmith.
That's if he plays. He only plays like every couple of games. And I think when Hero coming back, I don't know if Highsmith's going to play.
Right. I mean, Lowry had 11, 5 and 5. On the other side, Gordon had 16 and 6. Porter had 14 and 13. 14 points, 13 rebounds. Jokic had 27 and 14 and 10. He had a triple-double. Murray had 26, 10 and 6. And Cole Pope he had 7 points. Off the bench, Uncle Green, 4 and 1. 10 and 5 for Bruce Brown. And Braun had 0. So I mean, I think that obviously, it's not college where it's 1 win and you're done. There's a whole 3 more games for Denver if you want to sweep them. But I mean, obviously, he had to make adjustments, like you said. But I don't know how when the matchups are kind of hard.
They're limited in the adjustments they can make because they're such a small team.
Right.
Well, there is one thing they could do. I don't know if Spoelstra's going to do it though. They might have to go double big. Play like start Adebayo and Love. That way you can put maybe Love on Jokic since he's a bigger build. But defensively, Love's not that great. So maybe you go Zeller, which I know the minutes he's out there, he's not going to really give you anything offensively, but
defensively,
he's probably physical enough to at least make Jokic know that he's there, and then you put Adebayo on Gordon. That's an adjustment they could make. I don't know if Spoelstra does it though.
Yeah, I mean, the Nuggets have gone 30.7 in home games. Denver scores 115.8 points while outscoring opponents by 3.3 points per game. The Heat are 17 and 24 on the road. Miami ranks last in the Eastern Conference, scoring at 11.4 fast break points per game. I mean, the top performers have been Jamal Murray. He's averaging 20 points and 6.2 assists for the Nuggets. Jokic is averaging 32.1 points per game over the last 10 games for Denver. Adebayo is averaging 20.4 points, 9.2 rebounds and 3.2 assists for the Heat. Jimmy Butler is averaging 22.9 points over the last 10 games. For Miami, last 10 games, Nuggets are 8-2, averaging 115.4 points, 40.5 rebounds, 27 assists, and 6 steals. The Heat are 5-5, averaging 105.6 points, 40.1 rebounds, 32.2 assists, and say 7.5 steals and 3.2 blocks per game, while shooting 45.6% from the field. Their opponents have averaged 104.5 points. Nuggets have no injuries or healthy. Victor Oladipo obviously he's out for the season. Tyler Hero is questionable or he's out with a hand. We could be back game 3.
I
mean,
think Hero's
obviously,
back game 2.
huh?
Like this before the series, they said Hero would be back game 3. They've already making it seem like he's coming back game 2. I think they see how desperate of a need he is right now.
He'll probably be on like limited minutes though.
As long as those minutes are Max Struess's minutes, I think Miami would be fine.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously you can't really judge a series off of one game. But if you still have these, or can you, Kyle? Can you?
Yeah, there was a lot of issues from game 1 that I don't know get fixed. Like, look at it. It was a 20-point game for most of that.
I guess the only thing you can say,
Miami made their run when Denver kind of slowed themselves down. If Denver keeps their pace up, I think they win this easily. I have Denver in 6, and after game 1, I think I might be overrating Miami thinking the series goes that long. But, I mean, yeah, you won't learn everything from game 1, but you can learn some troubling trends from game 1. I'll say that.
Well, obviously, the matchups are troubling.
Yeah,
but like you said, like they can he can maybe put 2 bigs out there, like in a Bio or Zeller, but they need still offense. I mean, like Zeller can't really. I mean, he can he can give you like a couple points here and there, but he'll probably be there primarily for defense.
Which is fine.
I mean, I'm saying if Jokic can average a triple double throughout the playoffs, it's over. I mean, but I'm still going with my Twitter post. I'm going Heat in 7. But
good luck with that.
Well, I mean, I didn't bet anything, but I just made the prediction. But yeah, we can't overreact yet. I mean, I've been saying maybe after game 2.
Okay.
If Miami can tie it up, maybe 1-1, that'd be kind of a big momentum shift. Then heading to Miami. Are they doing like 2 games off, or like how they do like 1 game, like So first game was Thursday, so they're doing like a 2 game. So
it's Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday.
Oh, so they're doing like 2 games, or 2 days off.
Yeah. They line it up so that they assume with the extra day, the players will be fresher, whereas like the past couple rounds was like every other day.
Yeah, so Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, that was 1 game, 1 day, and then Friday to Monday.
Yeah.
Well, Wednesday will be game 3. No, 3. Friday will be game 4. 5 will be, or Sunday or Monday will be game 5 if necessary. Thursday will be game 6, and then Sunday will be game 7 if necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Jory had a comment. Doc is not going for that. He might go ahead and hang it up.
Well, the Toronto job's still there. I would assume if Doc Rivers wants that job, he may get it, because I don't know who's interviewing for that job right now. But Doc Rivers left Boston the first time because he didn't want to deal with a rebuild. Toronto's going to be rebuilding, so I assume he doesn't want that job. We might see Doc on TNT next year. I don't know.
I mean, he might be on like the panel with like Mike Green and Stephen A. and Jalen Rose doing the TNT pregame.
Well, I
But
see what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah, he could be
Or ESPN is.
because he used to be on TV. He was on TNT before he got into coaching. He was pretty good, so we know he can do it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that does it for this episode. Do you have any other like final thoughts? Anything
Um,
you're gonna say?
One thing would be I see like Stephen A. openly, you know,
You
auditioning
did
for
do
Shannon Sharp to join First Take.
you did
That
do a
would
good
be
job, man.
interesting.
We have to say that for next episode.
Oh, okay.
The whole jaw
There
thing,
you go.
but
A tease. But I will say,
yeah, definitely gonna get to that.
uh, maybe this is the Celtics homer in me. I love that Jimmy Butler only had 13 points. Not a big story. They were all over Tatum every game, and he was dropping 30. But they were on him about, oh, he didn't take this many shots in the fourth quarter. But ESPN has their agenda. I know what it is. They're trying to split the Jays up. It's all good. It's okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just excited. MLB. I mean, is kind of like it's
Yeah,
picking up.
Third of the way through the season.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to Yankees Boston. Garrett Cole's pitching. I'll be in the Bronx. From who? Boston?
Red Sox. Garrett Cole has this weird thing. He gives up like at least 2 home runs a game against the Red Sox.
We'll see, man. It's gonna be a good game. I think Aaron Judge is gonna get a home run. At least a couple home runs in a game.
Brought the Yankees. Did you see the video with them trying to talk about Yankees doing some stuff with their like third base and first base coach?
I know they had something to do like
they're not standing in the box they're supposed to. They're standing outside of it so they can see like the signs from the catcher, and then they're doing like foot signals or something. Because somebody has the video where like Aaron Judge is at the plate, and just before the pitch
looking,
he looks over at him real quickly to get the sign or whatever.
The MLB, I mean, I don't think they even did an investigation on that. I don't know. I mean, I think that happened during the Blue Jays series. Mm-hmm. I think that that happened, but I don't. They're gonna find anything that pick with the Yankees. But, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal because I don't think they even did an investigation. So I don't think it's a big deal.
It's not a Boston team. If the Red Sox did that, yeah, they'd investigate.
Who was your manager? Like Alex Cora?
Alex Cora. Yep.
Oh, okay. I know he was at like the Denver game, I think. So he must have had an off day or something like that.
Yeah, I think they did. Wait, he was at the. I don't remember seeing him at the Denver game.
I think he was. Like at game 1. Maybe they played the Rocky that day or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
They had an off day, but then they were back home Monday to play the Reds, I believe. I mean, that's a crazy flight. If you fly out there for Sunday night to fly back, I could have been wrong, but I couldn't remember seeing him there.
Yeah, I mean, I could have been wrong. I mean, I think they showed like the celebrities who were there on TV, and I think
he might have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that will do it for today's episode. I'm Jordan Jean-Louis, host of the JJ Sports Talk Show. I got my boy, my right hand man, Kyle Edwards, man. You can follow the show, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Go to my Instagram, JJ Sports Talk, on Instagram. Hit that link on my bio, and you'll see every platform: YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. No, I ain't got my Twitter on there, but my podcast, the merch. So definitely, look out for some more merch coming soon. I know Kyle's show, Chomping at the Bit. He does his show. I know me and Kyle do the Sports Empire Network Big 3 and the Cheap Seats.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll be back and we'll have more content. We'll be talking about the Ja Morant, how Adam Silver said he has more information on the whole situation, and he doesn't want to kind of like I mean, I had a strong opinion on this, but I don't know why we didn't go over this. But I mean, we were looking at almost 2 hours, but we'll next show. But he said that they don't, in spite of the playoffs, he doesn't want to say anything yet. He
It's
can
a
say it
smart
after the.
decision. If he makes a ruling now, nobody's gonna care about the finals because that will be the leading story everywhere. So that's smart to wait
True.
after the
I mean,
finals.
I have my opinions on that, but well, I mean, I mean, I agree. It's kind of is a distraction, but I kind of have my say on like or like my thoughts on like that, like on that. So I mean, I we'll go over that next episode. For sure, that'd be the top story we're gonna talk about in NBA. Yeah, but I mean, we'll after Sunday we'll talk about game two, preview game three, and then we'll be back with another episode. So with that being said, we are out. Kyle, you have anything you want to shout out your channels or whatever, or shout out?
I mean, it's chomping at the bit. Find it, YouTube, uh, Facebook. I got the Instagram. Was it Kyle.Edwards3958. You can see links for everything on there. Yeah, check me out. Trying to do something over there. Got Twitch. Trying to get more into Twitch, but yeah, mainly YouTube and Facebook.
All right. Well, with that being said, me and Kyle are out, man. I'll see you next week.
All right, see you guys.